M&A TV, very excited now to be joined by Federico Mennella, Managing Director of Lincoln International. Federico, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Tell us about Lincoln and your involvement, what you do.
I am a Managing Director at Lincoln's New York office. I have been at Lincoln now 10 years. Lincoln is one of the leading, probably the leading middle market mergers and acquisitions firm. It's about 500 people in 17 offices around the world. We do mergers and acquisitions, financing, valuation, restructurings, focusing on the $50 to $500 million transaction value, the middle market as we define it.
You took part in a very informative panel today called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Just give us a little perspective, first of all, what that is.
We decided to focus on both the advisory and the principal side of things, looking at the ways that the new economy is changing both how the mergers and acquisition market is evolving and new technologies, applications and the like, as well as how do people make investments from a strategic point of view, industrials or private equity or venture capital or others invest in the technology sector. So both the means to achieve M&A transactions as well as the targets of M&A transactions and the way that this interacts with the different companies and different private equity groups.
With all of these technological changes right now happening so quickly, how specifically is this impacting the M&A transactions?
I think that from a deal maker point of view, i.e. the practitioner of mergers and acquisitions, whether in-house or whether an advisor like we are, we can see a lot of changes that have facilitated the execution of M&A transactions, but they've also escalated the complexity, escalated the technological prowess required to do it, but have allowed the companies to be very specific in tailoring the message in a deal and the practice of a deal. For instance, you now have virtual data rooms that allow people to look at data around the world without having to be physically present. You have videos that are put up in the data room so people can visit companies. And the next step will be maybe virtual reality visits. So instead of having a due diligence visit where people will fly from Japan to the States and go visit the company with disruptions, so they can look at the company, they can see it, they can actually maybe have a 360 view of machinery or the like. They can have interviews with the management. So there is a lot of new things in the way we do deals that have allowed people to be more proactive and maybe be more efficient in concluding a transaction.
Would you say that most corporations are literate enough? Because this technology is changing so quickly. Are the corporations able to keep up?
Well, not all of them. We continue to believe that having an intermediary is very relevant. Obviously, we speak on our own behalf. Companies traditionally look and identify targets through their strategic planning group or so, or through their commercial areas, but they may not know how to get there, or their relationship may be not at the top level. A good investment banker may know in advance what is out there, be proactive, suggest ideas, and suggest the best way to then handle the process. Some of the private equity groups are very sophisticated. Some of the corporations are sophisticated. Not all of them are. And our role is to bridge that gap and to help achieve a transaction or the goal fast in an efficient way.
What makes your firm stand out then against your competitors?
We are the only one that is integrated globally. So we are one firm, 4 offices actually in the United States, and we have a total of 17, and the rest is outside of the United States. 50% of our business is cross-border. A lot of our competitors are not international, and we call ourselves multi-global or multi-local in that sense. So we would have people in Japan who speak Japanese, in China, in India, they're all local. So we can do transactions. So when you're selling a business, about 60% of what we do is sell sides. When we sell a business, we can reach people globally in a way that a lot of our competitors cannot do. and we provide the senior level attention for the transactions in the 50 to 500 million that some of the larger banks that compete in our sector, broadly speaking, cannot do. And the continuity is also very relevant. Over the 20 years the firm has been around, only 3 managing directors ever left. So there is very, very little turnover.
A lot of stability.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you look at the fourth industrial revolution, where are we in it? Are we at the beginning, the middle, or towards the end? And where could we go from here?
I think we are just at the beginning. There are a lot of changes in the way entire industries are being disrupted. Think about the retail with e-tailing. Think about healthcare. And there are huge opportunities, the media sectors, old media versus new media. So we are just at the beginning. The computing power, the cloud computing, the Internet of Things, they're all out there. And a lot of these terms did not even exist a few years ago. The issue, as you said, is that not everybody is sophisticated enough to be able to put in place. So you have to have intellectual curiosity, try to look ahead and even around corners if you can, and work with the right people that can help you guide you in the process.
Federico, thank you so much for your insight. You gave us so much good information today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.